mystery, the macabre. What is it about a hard-boiled detective, a femme fatale, and the cold steel of a gun that keeps our bedside lamps burning into the wee hours of the morning? However the spell is cast, tonight we honor a master of the form and celebrate the launch of Stormfall.
Call me when you're ready to wash that off.
The stunning conclusion to his best-selling Derek Storm mystery series. Ladies and gentlemen, the master of the macabre, Rick Castle.
Who are you?
Allison Tisdale, 24, grad student at NYU, part of the social work program.
Nice place for a social worker.
Daddy's money. Neighbors called to complain about the music. When she didn't answer, they had to super check on her.
No signs of struggle. You knew her.
Even bought her flowers. He says romance is dead.
I do. Every Saturday night.
A little lipstick wouldn't hurt. I'm just saying.
So what did you give her besides roses?
2 shots to the chest. Small caliber.
Does this look familiar to anyone?
No, but I'm not the one with the thing for freaky ones. Just give me a jackshot Jill over Bill so I can get my collar and go home.
Oh, but the freaky ones require more. They reveal more. Look at how he left her. Covered, modestly.
So?
So despite all of the effort, all of the preparation, you won't find any evidence of sexual abuse.
You really get that from just this?
This, plus I've seen this before.
You've seen it before. Where?
Roses on her body, sunflowers on her eyes. Don't you guys read?
What kind of idiot kills off his best-selling main character?
Are you asking as my blood-sucking publisher or as my blood-sucking ex-wife?
Oh, is that what you're doing? Punishing me by killing the golden goose?
Oh, come on. I may be petty and short-sighted, but I'm not that petty and short-sighted.
Really? Then why?
Writing Derek used to be fun. Now it's like work.
God forbid you should work. I mean, you could have retired him, you could have crippled him, you could have had him join the friggin' circus. But no, you had to put a bullet through his head.
Yeah, real messy, too. Big exit wound. Don't worry. Derek Storm is not the golden goose here. I am. I wrote half a dozen bestsellers before him. What makes you think I'm going to stop now?
Oh, I don't know. The fact the new book was due 9 weeks ago?
You can't rush genius.
Genius, Richard? Try blockage. I heard you haven't written in months.
That's ridiculous.
My sources are very reliable.
Well, they're wrong.
They better be. If I don't have a new manuscript on my desk in the next 3 weeks, Black Pawn is prepared to demand the return of your advance.
You wouldn't dare.
Try me. Just try me.
You know, I already returned that advance. I spent it divorcing you.
Really, dollface. Who does homework at a party?
I have a test next week.
So do I. Liver function. Don't see me studying. All right, give me a hit of the bubbly.
Make that too?
Hey, kiddos. Sales must be slipping. They're only serving the soft stuff.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, sweetie. So, Mother,
Not so loud. I'm still hoping to get lucky.
did you tell Gina I was having trouble writing?
Oh, I told her nothing of the sort. I may have said something about spending your days moping in your underwear, waiting for post time at Belmont, but hey, you're an artist. It's expected.
We had a deal. I let you live with us, but you don't talk about my work.
What's to talk about? You haven't done any since I moved in. Well, he hasn't.
Whatever I have and haven't done, I would just appreciate it if you wouldn't share it with my ex-wife.
Oh, what's the big deal? Hang on, sweetie. I just got a hit on my radar. Bingo, no ring. Stand back, kids. Mama's going fishing.
You should have me committed.
For what? Letting her move in? I think it's sweet.
Won't be when I strangle her.
You know I'm only 15, right?
You're an old soul.
Yeah, well, me and my soul can wait.
When I was your age, I can't tell that story. That's wildly inappropriate, which oddly is my point. Don't you want to have wildly inappropriate stories that you can't tell your children?
I think even if it was for the both of us.
Life should be an adventure. You want to know why I killed Derek? There were no more surprises. I knew exactly what was going to happen every moment of every scene. It's just like these parties, they become so predictable. I'm your biggest fan. Where do you get your ideas?
And the ever popular, will you sign my chest?
That one I don't mind so much.
Yeah, well, FYI, I do.
Just once, I'd like someone to come up to me and say something new.
Mr. Castle?
Where would you like?
Detective Kate Beckett, NYPD. We need to ask you a few questions about a murder that took place earlier tonight.
That's new.
Mr. Castle, you've got quite a rap sheet for a best-selling author. Disorderly conduct, resisting arrest.
Boys will be boys.
It says here that you stole a police horse?
Borrowed.
Ah, and you were nude at the time.
It was spring.
And every time the charges were dropped.
What can I say? The mayor is a fan, but if it makes you feel any better, I'd be happy to let you spank me.
Mr. Castle, this whole bad boy charm thing that you've got going might work for bimbettes and celebutantes. Me? I work for a living, so that makes you one of two things in my world. Either the guy who makes my life easier, or the guy who makes my life harder. And trust me, you do not want to be the guy who makes my life harder.
Okay.
Allison Tisdale, daughter of real estate mogul Jonathan Tisdale.
She's cute.
She's dead. Did you ever meet her? Book signing? Charity event?
It's possible. She's not in my little black book, if that's what you're asking.
What about this guy? Marvin Fisk, small claims lawyer.
Most of my claims tend to be on the large side. So what's this got to do with me?
Fisk was found murdered in his office 2 weeks ago. I didn't put it together until we saw the Tisdale crime scene tonight.
Flowers for your grave.
And this is how we found Marvin Fisk. Right out of Hell Hath No Fury.
Looks like I have a fan.
Yeah, a really deranged fan.
Oh, you don't look deranged to me.
What?
Hell Hath No Fury. Angry Wiccans out for blood. Come on. Only hardcore Castle groupies read that one.
Do any of these groupies ever write you letters? Disturbing letters?
Oh, all my fan mail is disturbing. It's an occupational hazard.
Because sometimes in cases like this, we find that the killer attempts to
contact the subject of his obsession. I'm also pretty well versed in psychopathic methodologies. Another occupational hazard. And do you know you have gorgeous eyes?
So I take it that you won't have any objection to us going through your mail.
Knock yourself out. Can I get copies of those?
Copies?
I have this poker game. It's mostly other writers, Patterson, Cannell, you know, bestsellers. You have no idea how jealous those would make them.
Jealous?
That I have a copycat? Oh my gosh, in my world, that's the red badge of honor. That's the criminal Cooperstown.
People are dead, Mr. Castle.
I'm not asking for the bodies, just the pictures.
I think we're done here.
I'm just a gal who can't say no. I'm in a terrible fix. I always say, come on, let's go. Just when I ought to. Hey, kiddo! I'm just showing Bert here how we did it at the palace.
Does he know it's your theme song?
Ready to bring it home, Ducky?
Hey, yes.
5, 6, 7, 8.
I'm just a fool when lights are low. I can't.
You're missing the Late Show.
I saw it in previews.
Looks like we got a new lead.
His name is Bert. He does magic.
Wow. Yeah. So he disappears by morning. Say, après minuit dawn's a school night. Don't you turn into a pumpkin or something?
Oh, when your dad's been escorted away by cops. That was a slammer. Anyone make you their bitch.
Sorry, Switchblade. Still belong to you. Baby Bird,
I already brushed.
your loss.
So, are you gonna tell me about it, or do I have to look it up on the fan sites?
No, we had a deal. Surf all the internet you want. Stay off the fan sites.
Seriously, Dad, are you in some type of trouble?
Despite my best efforts, no. They want my help on a case.
A case.
Apparently, someone's been killing people the way I killed them in my books.
That's horrible.
Yeah,
How many?
2 so far.
Are you okay?
Yeah, it's just so senseless.
Murder usually is.
Nope, murder usually makes a great deal of sense. Passion, greed, politics. What's senseless here is the books that the killer chose. Hell hath no fury. Flowers for your grave. My truly lesser works. Why would a psychotic fan pick those?
Maybe because he's psychotic. Come on, it's bedtime. You can figure it out in the morning.
What are those?
Castle's greatest hits. You're gonna familiarize yourselves with all of his murder scenes so we don't miss any.
Got any on tape?
First victim, male, lawyer. Second victim, female social worker. Somewhere in these books, those two are connected.
From the library of Catherine Beckett.
Do you have a problem with reading, Ryan?
Yo, check it, girl. You're totally a fan.
Right? Of the genre?
Right, the genre. That's why you're blushing.
What are you, 12? Profiling indicates a perp with low intelligence, someone who has or thinks he has a personal relationship with our author. So that's where we start. What?
I work dead bodies all day. The last thing I want to do when I go home is read murder books.
Aren't you curious
Curious?
about how people can do these kinds of things to one another? Whoever did this read Castle's books, and somewhere in those pages is the answer to where he'll strike next.
Is all that Castle's mouth?
His fans love him almost as much as he loves himself. Can you take that back to briefing, please? Did we hear back from the lab?
Yeah, seems negative for DNA imprints, just like Fisk. Guy's careful.
What about Tisdale and Fisk? Any connection?
Other than your boy there? No.
What's he doing here?
Maybe he likes you.
Detective Beckett.
Captain? Yes, sir.
Mr. Castle's offered to assist with the investigation.
Really?
It's the least I can do for the city I love.
Considering the nature of the crime scenes, I think it's a good idea.
Sir, can I talk to you for a minute in private?
Nope.
What?
Nothing. No, it's just the way your brow furrows when you're thinking. It's cute. I mean, not if you're playing poker, then it'd be deadly, but otherwise.
Can I ask you a question?
Shoot.
Why are you here? You don't care about the victim, so you aren't here for justice. You don't care that the guy's aping your book, so you aren't here because you're outraged. So what is it, Rick? Are you here to annoy me?
I'm here for the story.
The story.
Why those people? Why those murders?
Sometimes there is no story. Sometimes the guy is just a psychopath.
There's always a story. Always a chain of events makes everything make sense. Take you, for example. Under normal circumstances, you should not be here. Most smart, good-looking women become lawyers, not cops. And yet, here you are. Why?
I don't know, Rick. You're the novelist. You tell me.
Well, you're not bridge and tunnel. No trace the boroughs when you talk, so that means Manhattan. That means money. You went to college, probably a pretty good one. You had options. Yeah, you had lots of options. Better options. More socially acceptable options. And you still chose this. That tells me something happened. Not to you. Now, you're wounded, but you're not that wounded. It was somebody you cared about. It was someone you loved. And you probably could have lived with that, but the person responsible was never caught. And that, Detective Beckett, is why you're here.
cute trick. Don't think you know me.
The point is, there's always a story. You just have to find it.
I think I just did.
I think
Did you ever shoot again?
Yeah.
Lab's got lifts off the letter.
Whose?
System's backlogged. It'll take a week to run a match.
A week?
Welcome to reality, superstar.
Well, I never did much like reality.
Mayor's office.
Hi, Denise. It's Rick Castle.
Hi.
Yeah, is he in?
Hold on.
Thanks. Like I said, Mayor's a fan.
Rick!
Yo, Big Cheese, it's Ricky.
Okay?
Yeah, of course. Well, I don't know where you went. We looked all over for you. Who took up with that girl?
Man's got the mayor on speed dial. The rich really are different.
You want him? He's yours.
A control freak like you with something you can't control? No, that's gonna be more fun than Shark Week.
Okay. You will have your prince in an hour.
Mr. Castle?
Half of the guys here are waiting for Prince. You don't just jump the line.
Oh, I think somebody feels threatened.
I am not threatened.
No, I get it. I can call the mayor, and you can't.
We have procedure, protocol.
Yeah, and you always come to a complete stop at a red light, and you never fudge your taxes. Tell me something. You ever have any fun? You know? Let your hair down, drop your top, little cops gone wild.
You do know I'm wearing a gun.
Beckett, Midtown. I just found another one. Let me take this one. I'm gonna ask the
Death of a prom queen.
Maintenance found her an hour ago. Kendra Pitney, she lives in the building.
All right, let's get her out of the water. You just stay here and don't touch anything.
Hi, I'm Richard Castle. I'm consulting.
Richard Castle, the author?
On my better days.
Laney Parrish, medical examiner. I love your books. You know, you have a real gift with the details of death.
I thought I told you to stay over there.
I got lonely.
You got a COD?
Not into the full exam, but this wasn't a stabbing.
Lack of blood around the wound suggests she was dead before it was inserted. No foam around the mouth, so we know she didn't drown.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah. She was killed first and then posed, just like the others.
Yeah, I know. Can I have a word?
Something wrong?
This is a homicide investigation, not a day at Disneyland. If I give you an order, I expect you to obey it.
Then you don't know me very well. You know, in my book, the dress was blue.
Don't try to change the subject.
Does Tisdale and Fisk know each other?
We haven't found a connection. Why?
What about motive?
He's a serial killer. He doesn't need motive. Beckett. Okay. They got a match of the print. Kyle Cabot. He's in Brooklyn. We got him. Stay here.
Scout's honor.
Kyle Cabot, NYPD, open up!
Kyle Cabot, NYPD. You should invite him to join your book club.
Beckett, you gotta see this.
Oh, that's creepy.
I was never a scout.
Hey, Beckett.
Allison's blouse. I'm guessing he kept trophies.
22 caliber.
still not speaking. State medical records indicate he's got pervasive developmental disorder.
Well, that explains his fixation with me. PDD sometimes manifests in an obsession with a single subject.
Yeah, well, your superfan also has a history of delusions. Guess who his caseworker was?
Allison Tisdale.
Yeah. Her files indicate that he was on pretty heavy antipsychotics.
Limited intelligence, thinks he has a personal relationship with his hero. Looks like your profile was right, Detective Beckett.
So, what, that's it?
What more do you want? Evidence is in his apartment. We can connect him with the 3 victims. 2 from the diner where he worked, and Tisdale was a social worker. Call the DA. Get him a legal aid.
It's too easy. The reader would never buy it.
This isn't one of your books, Castle. Out here, we find a guy standing over a body with a gun. He's usually the guy who did it. You know, this kid was in and out of the system for years. Doesn't seem like he ever got the proper treatment until Allison Tisdale took over his case file. She's the one who got him a job at the diner, and her note seemed to say he was doing okay.
Well, we can let the DA worry about all that now. Our job is done.
Yeah. Hey, can you leave the box? I'll take care of it tomorrow.
Castle, I'm kind of glad that you killed off Storm. Less competition. 20 to you, Cannell.
You're bluffing, Patterson.
Cough up some of that TV money and you'll find out.
Bets to you, Ricky. Castle. Castle. Bets to you.
Oh, sorry.
I know that look. Story trouble.
You know, you never should have killed off Storm. That was a big mistake. I would have retired him. Or crippled him. I mean, the man was money.
You don't see me putting a bullet through Alex Cross's head.
And my boy Shane Scully's gonna be fueling my private jet long after people have all forgotten about Storm.
Oh, you know what? Just for that, I am gonna call.
So what's the problem, Ricky? Maybe we can help.
I'm working on this thing. It starts with a famous author. Some psycho starts staging murders like the way he does in his books.
That's pretty self-aggrandizing, isn't it?
This is Castle we're talking about.
So, crime scenes are clean. Doesn't leave any fingerprints, doesn't leave any DNA. But the psycho writes the author a fan letter with his prints all over it. Well, that leads the cops to his apartment where they find enough evidence to convict him.
And then?
That's it.
That's it?
Yeah, they arrest him.
That's terrible. No wonder you're blocked.
And here's another thing. The guy doesn't leave his prints at the scene of the crime, but he sends a letter with his prints on it. Oh, you lost me there. And what about a twist?
Where's the twist?
Yeah, right? Like maybe somebody set this kid up.
That's what your story needs. The character who thinks the kid's innocent keeps digging until he finds the truth.
Oh, I have just the guy.
What are you doing?
It's a novelist's habit, poking through other people's mail, checking their medicine cabinets.
Why are you still here?
I just came by to give you this. It was something to memorialize our brief partnership. Don't look so suspicious. Go on. Open it. I got you an advance copy. I even signed it to you. Not that you're a fan.
Thanks. That's actually kind of sweet.
Well, it was nice to have met you, Detective Beckett.
He didn't. Oh, he did.
Richard Castle, you are under arrest for felony theft and obstruction of justice.
You forgot making you look bad.
You know, for a minute there, you actually made me believe that you were human. Cuff him.
Ooh, bondage. My safe word is apples.
Oh, there's no need to be gentle.
How'd you find me anyway?
I'm a detective. That's what I do.
My mother told you, didn't she?
By the way, the rose petals in the Tisdale murder, they're grandiflora, not hybrid teas.
I'll make a note of it.
Yeah, you probably should, since it means Kyle Cabot is innocent.
Thank you, officer.
Hello, Father.
Hello, daughter.
I wish I could say I was surprised. It's my fault, really. He never had a father figure.
Oh, that's not true, Mother. I had lots of father figures. I see you've met Captain Montgomery and Detective Beckett.
And they have agreed to drop the charges if you agree to behave.
No more interference with this case, Mr. Castle. Do we understand each other?
Yeah. But you still got the wrong guy.
Really? Darling, must you? Oh,
Nah. No. Don't tell me he got to you.
Please, he didn't get to me. She did.
Who, Allison?
Marvin Fisk first murdered. Kyle knew him from the diner, and then he kills Allison, his social worker. And then he kills Kendra Pitney, also from the diner.
So?
So he starts with the murder of convenience, and then escalates to a murder of somebody he knows very well, and then goes back to a murder of convenience. It doesn't make any sense.
Somebody set up Kyle to take the fall. Somebody who knew enough about his fixation with me to use it to get away with murder. That means we're not looking for a serial killer. We're looking for a good old-fashioned murderer, someone with motive.
You think the victims were somehow related?
Police would have found it by now. Now, if I were writing the story, the killer would have only wanted one of the victims dead. He would have killed the other ones just to cover up the crime.
How do you get away with one murder by committing two more?
At one death, you look for motive. At two, you look for a connection. At three, you look for someone like Kyle. At three, you don't need motive because mentally unstable serial killers don't usually have one.
That makes about as much sense as Mousetrap. I did that play 8 times a week for a year. I still have no idea what it's about.
Castle was right. If he was trying to follow his books, then the roses on Allison's body were wrong. And Fisk should have been suffocated by a plastic bag, not strangled with a necktie. And Kendra's dress should have been blue, not yellow. For an obsessive, it would have been impossible not to get the details right.
Well, if it wasn't him, then who was it?
The killer had to have known both his intended victim and Kyle fairly well. The only victim that had any real knowledge of Kyle's obsessive condition would have been Allison Tisdale.
But Allison's the key. She's the one that the killer is trying to hide.
Well, as far as we know, she wasn't seeing anyone, and none of her other case files fit the profile.
Well, somebody had to know something about her.
So if the killer found out about Kyle through Allison, then Allison must have been the intended target. Somebody wanted Allison dead. Just have to figure out why.
If I have to keep bailing you out, you're gonna need to raise my allowance. By a lot.
Mine too.
Hi, I'm Rick Castle. I have an appointment to see Mr. Tisdale.
Yes, Mr. Castle. He's expecting you.
Is he now?
This is not what it looks like. Okay, this is exactly what it looks like, but I can explain.
You coming? Did Allison ever mention having enemies or being threatened?
People loved her. All she wanted was to make the world a better place. I told all this to the other detective.
I know, sir. We're just following
Did
up.
Allison know anybody who could have profited from her death?
Mr. Castle, I may be rich, but my daughter was not. She abhorred money. The little she had, she gave to charity.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Tisdale, Fortune magazine estimated your net worth at nearly $100 million. Is that true?
I don't check day to day.
But it's in the ballpark.
I've been lucky, yes.
Appreciate your time.
What happens to all that money if something happens to you?
Castle?
Half of my estate goes to my charitable foundation and the rest to my children. I mean, my son.
Thank you.
What was that all about?
He's dying.
Who's dying? Tisdale?
You want a hot dog? I want a hot dog. What do you take on your dog?
apples.
What makes you think he's dying?
Okay.
You see those pictures in his office?
Yeah.
He's much thinner now. Like sick thin, not workout thin.
His daughter was just murdered.
And the way he kept touching his hair like he's self-conscious.
Think it was a piece?
It's a good one, but it's new to him. Chemo's relatively recent, and he was wearing makeup.
He's trying to look healthier than he is.
Doesn't want his shareholders to know.
So he's got cancer. That doesn't mean that he's terminal.
But it's a much better story if he is. You interview the brother?
There was never a reason to.
Well, now there is.
You get hot mustard?
Harrison Tisdale?
Yeah. Hey, Mitch, let's get these pallets on the truck.
Detective Kay Beckett, Rick Castle. We'd like to ask you some questions about your sister.
Yeah, anything I can do. Let's head inside.
Last time I saw her, about a month ago at Dad's. You know, I still can't believe she's gone.
Were you close?
Everybody loved her. And my sister, she just wanted to see the best in people. Even that kid who killed her. You know, she did everything she could to help that guy. Even brought him around here once to see if I could get him a job.
But you didn't.
I can't afford to. All right, my employees mess up, I lose my bond. I don't know. Maybe if I'd helped him, things would be different.
How'd your sister react when your dad told you he was dying?
She was upset. We both were.
Now that she's dead, your inheritance stands to double.
What are you suggesting? You already caught the killer.
Yeah, we did. But the first thing his lawyers will do is shift suspicion to someone else. Someone with motive, and then they'll stick me on the stand and ask me why I didn't investigate, and then the jury will have doubts. And we don't want them to have doubts, do we?
No.
So you'll have to excuse me for asking, but where were you the night of your sister's murder?
I was traveling. On business. Actually, I was out of the country for all 3 murders. Now, here's. Check the stamps on that if it's useful.
A U.S. passport.
Absolutely unassailable.
I was sure it was him.
Oh, don't take it so hard. After all, you're just a writer.
What?
Nothing.
What?
Oh, come on. He's lying. I mean, I get him knowing where he was the night of his sister's murder, but the other 2 victims, he didn't pause. He didn't ask for dates. He didn't even check his calendar, but he was ready with an alibi. In my experience, innocent people do not prepare alibis.
So I was right.
Okay, give me the dates and flights.
Why can't you just admit I was right?
Because he totally fooled you. He totally bought the alibi.
Yeah. I had a fleeting moment of self-doubt.
So?
His credit card company confirms he paid for 3 round-trip tickets. Dates coincide with the 3 murders.
So according to his credit card, Tisdale was out of the country.
Wait a minute, so now I'm not right?
Which means the passport stamps were forged.
I'm gonna call passport control and have him check the logs.
That's not how he would have done it.
You got a better idea, Ricky?
Second passport.
And how would he get one of those?
Oh, with his money? Trust me, on the black market it'd be a piece of cake.
So he leaves the country on his own, comes back with the other passport, commits murder, flies out, and then comes back in on his own.
Perfect alibi, perfect murder.
But almost impossible to prove.
Unless you find the second passport.
Gotta be freaked after your little meet and greet.
Keep eyeballs on him. If he moves, I want to know. The things that people will do for money.
This guy killed his own sister in cold blood and 2 more people to cover it up. He's either a world-class sociopath. There's a lot more to this story than just money.
Judge Markaway, please.
Oh, Markaway, tell him I said hello.
No, seriously, they're redoing the entire back 9.
Oh, man, I love that course. When are they going to reopen it?
Judge, I hate to break up Golf Digest, but I have an exigent situation here.
Very well, detective, play through.
We need a search warrant. She needs a search warrant.
For the home and office of Harrison Tisdale.
Harrison Tisdale, as in Jonathan Tisdale's son?
Yes.
Yep. He murdered his sister, killed 2 more people to cover up the crime.
Murder the Tisdales? You better be long and straight on this one, detective.
Harrison's father is terminally ill, sir.
What? I just saw him at a benefit.
Hope you took a picture.
With the sister out of the way, the son will inherit all of it. Excuse me.
There's also a twisted, emotional angle in there. I don't want to bore you with the details, but family and vengeance, it's Shakespearean.
Harrison just left work.
He's probably headed home to destroy the evidence.
Are you sure you can tie him to the other victims?
Through a patient of his sister's that he was trying to frame.
It's days like this, I wish I was back in civil division.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Tisdale. Got a list inside? Yeah, thank you for your help.
What do we got, guys?
Get this. Junior's business is going under. He's tens of millions in debt.
Well, with his sister's share of the Tisdale fortune, he stands to pay off his debt and then some.
Castle, if you're going in, you should be armed. My backup's in the glove compartment.
I can't find it.
This time you're staying put.
Oh, okay. Beckett, very funny. Joke's over. Come on! Cuff me once, shame on you. Cuff me twice, shame on me.
Harrison Tisdale, NYPD, we have a warrant.
Just a minute.
Open the door, Harrison. Open the door. It's NYPD. We have a warrant.
Hey! Hey! He's coming down the fire escape.
He's out back. Cover the front. Stop, police! Don't move! Castle! No!
I got him. I got him.
Castle!
Stay back! Stay back! Don't come anywhere closer! Stay back!
Get down!
Stay back!
Easy, easy.
Don't move!
Let him go, Harrison.
Come on. Easy, easy. Okay.
Castle, you okay?
Yes. Psycho here needs a breath mint.
Shut up!
Okay? Hey, Harrison, you know what's bugging me? If you were that deep in debt, why didn't you just ask your father for the money?
Castle, you are not helping.
You know what I think? I think you did ask. I think you asked and he said no. I think he always said no. A self-made man like that, I bet he thought you were weak for asking.
He's the one who was weak. I was trying to make something with my life, and all he cared about was her.
That's why you killed her. It wasn't just for the money. You wanted to punish him before he died. Take away the only thing he loved.
That's a pretty good story. Who are you?
Harrison, let him go. It's over.
It's not over. It's not over. Drop the gun or I swear to God I'll...
Tell me you saw that! You're gonna put that in your report, right?
Can I see the cuffs, please?
Yeah.
What the hell were you thinking? You could have gotten yourself killed.
Oh, safety was on the whole time.
You know, you could have told me.
Where's the fun in that?
Well, guess this is it.
Well, it doesn't have to be. We could, go to dinner, debrief each other.
Why, Castle? So I can be another one of your conquests?
Or I could be one of yours.
It's nice to meet you, Castle.
It's too bad. It would have been great.
You have no idea.
You wanted to see me, sir?
Yeah. I just got a call from the mayor's office. Apparently, you have a fan.
A fan, sir?
Rick Castle. Seems he's found the main character for his next set of novels, a tough but savvy female detective.
I'm flattered.
Don't be. He says he has to do research.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
No way.
Beckett, listen.
Sir, he is like a 9-year-old on a sugar rush, totally incapable of taking anything seriously.
But he did help solve this case.
Oh.
And when the mayor's happy, the commissioner's happy. And when the commissioner's happy, I'm happy.
How long, sir?
Well, it's up to him.